96.3 FM, The Source.
Minutes before 11 o'clock. A good friend is in the studio, Karen Hill. We've known Karen for many years. We first knew her from the Literacy Council. Now she is the executive director of the Marion County Homeless Council, and she's here to promote an event which is happening this Thursday at the Marion Technical College. It is called the Sweet Home Ocala fundraising event. This is the second annual one, I think. Good morning, Karen. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. How is everything with you?
Everything's wonderful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Usually, since our years of knowing you with the Literacy Council, we only see you on Light Up Ocala.
That's pretty true.
And
I see you on Friday Night Art Walk sometimes.
Sometimes, yes.
Yes, sometimes,
yes. This week we didn't get to go because it was raining. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It was. We needed that rain, though. We definitely did.
Yeah. Do you know when Hurricane Michael went through the Panhandle, all of a sudden there were a bunch of homeless people.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, everybody's chipping in to help them out. And I thought, why don't we do that with homeless people who are homeless all the time?
I'm glad you thought of that. I hope many others do.
Did you think that too?
Absolutely. There's so many people that could be receiving that help every day.
Is it impractical? Is it just because we don't think about it? Are we being judgmental toward other homeless people?
I think all of the above.
Yeah.
It becomes, when you're living your everyday life and there's not a horrible tragedy like that hurricane was, it isn't in our forefront of our minds to help the way we could.
Yeah. And we always probably think we know who the homeless people are, but we don't really, do we?
We really don't. And that's the one thing I've tried to do over the last 3.5 years is really change the face of homelessness in Marion County. So many people think it's that man on the corner holding that sign, and most of the time that person probably isn't even homeless, because most homeless try to stay as incognito as possible.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Is there a way for us to better understand what their plight is? Can you help us with that? What happened? How do they become homeless? Let's start there.
Oh my goodness! If you talk to 100 homeless people, you'd hear 100 different stories. Some people, I can tell you one of our biggest success stories. They were what we would consider a normal family, owned a home, owned 2 vehicles, had the normal lifestyle, and he got cancer. And when we met them, they were living in a tent because they had lost everything financially because he wasn't able to work and provide for those needs like he had in the past. So now they're housed again. They have been for, I think Christmas will be 2 years.
How's his cancer?
Under control. Okay. And he has started his own home care business where he's doing like the honey-do lists.
Oh, nice.
To add a little bit to their income and stay above board. So that's one way. Moms, we have many, many, many homeless children in Marion County. And a lot of times the mother went through a nasty divorce. The husband just left. There's just so many reasons that people are homeless in Marion County.
And the work that you do with the council, it's probably impossible to meet everybody's needs, but how do you reach out to them? How do they reach out to you? How do you connect with them so they can get the help that you might be able to direct them to?
Well, first of all, word of mouth is very quick and fast in the homeless realm. Huh? Absolutely. All it takes is one person to see somebody else's life changing so much for the positive, and they want to know, how did that happen? Mm-hmm. How did they get that change as well? And so it doesn't take long. Our office is right downtown, right on Magnolia, and so we're very accessible to the homeless, and they know how to find us when they need us. Mm-hmm. But there are hundreds of people on our waiting list looking for services.
Well, you have a lot of things on this one sheet, just using the word imagine.
Exactly.
And that really hits home.
And this is, with talking about the fundraiser, this is our second Sweet Home Ocala, and the tagline is, where everyone deserves a home. And isn't that just a basic expectation? This is America. We should not have people living on the streets. We should not have people sleeping on benches. And so we go with the positive of, with this fundraiser, we don't raise a lot of money. We're not spending hours and months on this event. We're too busy. But there are many things that the homeless need that our grants won't let us do. And that's where this Imagine list came from. So imagine the difference a pair of shoes can make. With shoes, I'm allowed to enter a place of business so I can apply for a job. No shirt, no shoes means more than no service. It means no job. And so when you come to our event, you'll see our table centerpieces aren't pretty fall centerpieces. There might be a boot in the middle of the table.
Oh, how
and
clever.
it's going to say, your donation today can help that person who needs a pair of boots to get a job, get that job.
Yeah, good.
Or
yeah, I think
diapers.
that's part of your job, too, is to help the people who can help better understand the need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not always, I mean, we get grants to help people do what we call rapid rehousing, where we can work with them and pay their security deposit, pay their first month's rent, help them get the utilities turned on, those kinds of things. But we can't do things like buy a new mama diapers. We can't buy baby wipes. We're not allowed to do those things with grant dollars, which is why we have the fundraiser.
Ah, okay. So the event on Thursday.
Correct.
Tell me what
Thursday.
this is again.
What this is a fun event. You know me. If it's not fun, I don't want to play.
A fun fundraiser?
Fun fundraiser. That's how I always look at it. And this year is a little bit different. It's our second, so you learn a little bit as you go. We have gotten the school system involved with us this year.
Ah, okay.
So being created by students within the community and Golden Hammers at Habitat, local craftspeople, is all different types of homes. Bird houses, bat houses, doll houses, gingerbread houses, any kind of a house except for a dog or cat, because we know there's another agency in town that uses that to raise funds for their organization. We've had all kinds of different things donated. We have fairy houses. And what will happen is all those items will go to silent auction. But this year we're doing something a little different. Because we had the youth involved, every category, we're going to do different age categories. The winners of those categories, their item will go to live auction.
Oh,
and so that will be
wonderful.
fun for the kids to see people battle over their hard work of what they've accomplished to build a house.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
last year you had something the same, right? The same event?
We sure did.
And what kind of houses did you see last year?
All the same things.
Same things?
Same things. We had one gentleman, and I actually just saw it this morning, makes an actual encampment. And he put in trees and tents and fire camp. And then the coolest thing he did was in the background this year, he put a little nativity scene. And he said, because that's our first homeless family. And
Exactly.
so-
I love that.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was really cool. And so the people in the different categories will get a trophy for first place. There'll be ribbons for second and third. We have judges coming in the afternoon before we open to the public who will pick the winners, and they will be judged. And I think it'll be really exciting for the kids to see their work.
Are they then sold as a fundraiser?
Absolutely. They're a silent auction, except for the winners will go to live auction. And we have other items besides houses. We have jewelry and clothing, and we got a beautiful painting donated this morning in memory of someone, which makes it even more precious.
So the listeners can participate by
Coming and attending the event.
just having shown up, okay?
Absolutely. There's going to be music provided by Westport. One of their ensembles is going to play for us.
Okay.
The culinary students at Marion Technical College are providing the hors d'oeuvres.
Oh,
And if
nice.
you've been anywhere, you know how wonderful that food will be.
Yeah.
So we ask for a $10 donation for an adult, $5 for a student, and anybody under 5 gets in free. And one of the things we're doing this year is we have a bowl full of a bunch of those little tiny erasers that you can buy.
Yeah.
And each eraser represents a homeless child in Marion County.
Oh, my gosh.
And we want you to guess. And there'll be a prize for the winner who guesses closest to how many children there are.
Oh, wow.
Say 1,200.
I would hate to tell you that's way too low.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, but the school system counts homelessness a little bit different than we do. If they do not have their own address, they are homeless. So if they're, we call it couch surfing. So if they're sleeping on grandma's couch or auntie's couch, or they're hopping week to week, they're considered homeless in the school system.
Now, when a person feels they're homeless and they need help and they come to your place of business, what kind of questions do they get asked, and how do you help them end their homelessness?
Well, first of all, it depends on their situation. We are in Marion County very lucky to have what's called a Continuum of Care. And the Continuum of Care is where all the agencies that work in homelessness work together. And we send referrals through our database to each other as to, we have a client that needs these services, or we can pay the electric bill, can you pay the security deposit, those kinds of things. But we always encourage anyone who is actually homeless to call 211. You register at 211. We automatically get an email, and our, what we call a coordinated entry department calls that person and sets up a time to sit down and talk with them and find out what is their actual needs.
And you don't turn anybody away?
Well, unfortunately, there's a waiting list, but we never turn them away. There's always a waiting list. There's never enough affordable housing. As we all know, that's a national issue right now. But there's also never enough case managers or money to go around.
Oh, okay.
But when we do the interviews, we try to serve according to need, not first come, first serve.
So considering this is 3 days away, somebody who wanted to build a house, it's probably too late to recruit new people, right?
Well, if they're already a craftsman and they have something in their room and they would like to donate, we'd love to have it. The more houses, the better.
Okay.
And all they have to do is give us a call. It's 732-1369. You'll get a recording probably because we're always on the phone, but leave a message. We'll call you back within 24 hours.
Okay.
So.
And so somebody could still enter this and or contribute something else.
Absolutely.
Now you mentioned there was jewelry and other crafts. Are those, like if we're talking to one right now, somebody who does that kind of thing, can they still come on board? Do they rent a table? How does that work?
Nope. All they have to do is call us, and we call it an in-kind donation, and we would give them a receipt for their donation, and then it would go to the silent auction tables.
Okay.
So we have several people who happen to they've actually followed me throughout my career in the nonprofit world, and they make jewelry for us every year, regardless of what our fundraiser is. They'll donate. I have another friend whose daughter sells the LaRue or whatever it's called, the new style that everybody wears. She donates an outfit for us no matter what we do.
Nice.
So there's always a little bit of something, because I happen to be a bird lover, so I love all the bird houses and all those things, but not everybody is. So we try to have a little bit of variety.
And you also will have beverages and hors d'oeuvres?
We will have hors d'oeuvres. We are on school grounds, so there will not be alcohol this year because we're at Marion Technical College, which is on 200. Everybody used to know it as CTAE.
Right.
The Adult Education Center. They have grown up, they say, and now they are a technical college, and their students just do amazing work, and they're going to be providing the hors d'oeuvres for us this year.
You also have that you're going to have client success stories.
We are. The family that I talked to you about, they actually went out to Westport. Another way the students are participating this year is the video students out at Westport created a video. And part of that we'll play during the event is that family telling their story. And the kids took our idea of Imagine, and I can't wait to see what they've come up with.
Nice.
Because we said, here you go, and you use your skills and your marketing ideas, and you take care of it.
Yeah, we have a really talented video community in Ocala, don't we?
Absolutely.
And Robert, I know that because we are the judges for the Student Media Festival every year.
Okay.
And it's the kids in the schools that come up with this amazing stuff, and sometimes with not amusing, sometimes they're amusing, but amazing messages. With video. So that's what you've tapped into right there.
And it's so important for children to understand homelessness. With the number of children that are homeless within the school system, getting the schools involved is going to open the eyes and hearts, we hope, of children so that they're not mean. Children can be so tough. And and those of us who are blessed with what we consider a normal life, a roof over our head, a way to get back and forth to school, they may not necessarily understand why the little boy or little girl who sits next to them wears the same outfit 2 or 3 days in a row, or doesn't take a shower the way they do. And so they can be mean, and we don't want that. We want them to understand how lucky they are that not every child has that blessing.
Right.
And every year you take a head count. You and your staff actually, and volunteers actually go out into the community, and you have different questions. that you ask them also. Some of them has to do with mental illness.
Absolutely. We ask, it's called the point in time count, and we're mandated by Housing and Urban Development the last 10 days of every January we count. This past year there were 725 people that we counted on the streets that night. And we do ask everything from, are you a veteran? Do you have a substance abuse problem? Do you have a mental illness? How long have you been homeless? And that's some of the things that will help us determine who's the most needy and who do we help first when we do have the funds to house someone.
Do they have to meet certain requirements? For example, with Habitat for Humanity, they don't just give houses away. You have to apply and meet certain standards.
Right. No more. In the old days, it used to be Joe came first. Joe knew all the, knew where to be at which building, at what time, what day of the week. Now we do this assessment when we sit down with them, and that tells us what is their true needs. Do they really need to be housed? Do they just need maybe a month's rent to get caught up? Do they have a serious health issue? We just had a mother that had 10 children that was sleeping in a garage.
Uh-oh.
Obviously, that's a priority. We don't need 10 babies sleeping in a garage. So those are the kind of people who will get served first. We had a gentleman walk into our office who had his dialysis port hanging out of his chest, who was sleeping in his car.
Oh my God.
So we call it trimorbidity. If they're going to, if they could die because we don't house them, obviously they move to the top of the list. And no, they don't have to have income. We do it the best we can and help as much as we can.
Right. And how can we help you? Obviously, this is one way on Thursday.
Absolutely.
So is there anything else we can do? Can we subscribe to, like you can be adopt a manatee club, that kind of a thing. Can we adopt a homeless person?
Absolutely.
How do you do that?
All you have to do is contact us. Call the Homeless Council. There are families out there that always need something. We just had a young girl. I guess it's been 2 months ago already, but she has a brand new baby, and they sleep outside. That baby could use all kinds of different things. Maybe someone could donate, to fill that gap of things they need. When we do the count in January, we give every homeless person that we talk to a backpack, and we provide the basic needs in that backpack: snacks, toiletries. Paper.
Karen, whatever happened to the pavilion they were going to build? Did that just fall through? I remember it was in the news, and then I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, well, the price doubled from the time they decided to build it to when it was getting approved. From what I understand, it may still be in the talks, but that wasn't our project, so I don't know all the details.
Oh, that wasn't yours?
That was not ours. We are not creating temporary housing out on the streets. We try to provide permanent housing.
But what happens to a homeless person? Like, for example, the need that would have provided was like a shower, it sounds
Correct.
like, or just a picnic table to eat lunch on. Is there a place in Ocala? I know the veterans have a shower for veterans, homeless veterans at Vets Helping Vets. They've got a place. Is there a place for somebody let's say you were homeless and you wanted to clean yourself up and get some clothing and go find a job? How would you do that?
The Salvation Army still makes that available.
They do that.
You can take a shower. You can do a free load of laundry, those kinds of things. There's not a lot of places in Marion County, and that's why so many people are out on the streets. We have one shelter, and that's the Salvation Army. And then if they're full, the interfaith will take the overflow of women and children. But they're constantly full.
None of the churches do that? They don't have any homeless programs in the churches?
They may have homeless programs as far as food, clothing,
right.
those kinds of things, but not for overnight
No beds.
stays. No, the only other place, the new program, Saving Mercy, who bought the hotel out on 40. But that will probably take a couple of years to get to where they want to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a large group that is still definitely waiting for help.
And you also try to weed out the ones that are truly homeless and those that are just lazy and don't want to get a job and work.
Yeah, that's the case manager's job, is to motivate, to set goals. We used to set long-term goals, what's going to happen in a year. Now we do it 1 month at a time. And I'll use my old world as an example. We have many clients who come in who really need the literacy council. So do we say your goal is to get a GED? That's not realistic. Our goal is, did you call the Literacy Council and get registered this month?
Oh.
You have to take small baby steps. The lives that we live every day, that's not what the homeless out on the street live. You can pick up the phone and make a phone call. Many of them are on those telephones that have so many minutes per month, and they can't make those long-term phone calls. So we'll bring them in, help them get signed up for Social Security, help them get signed up for food stamps. The Housing Authority currently has their wait list open. So if they're looking for that long-term subsidized housing, we'll make sure that they get that information and get on the list. That's that deal of the continuum where we all work together. We get together once a month. We share our ideas, share what's happening so that we can serve as many needs as possible.
Can you help somebody facing foreclosure and they could be homeless? Let's say they're not homeless right now, but they probably will be if they don't get some help?
Mortgage is harder. Some of our grants are pretty restrictive on mortgage, but rents, yes, we have a program for prevention, and that's actually what we focus on as much as possible, because if we can keep you in the home you're already in, it's going to be a lot cheaper than trying to start over.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to prevent that
Plus, if there were
eviction
children.
being on their records
Right.
and those kinds of things. So we will prefer to pay a month or two of rent, help you get caught up, help you get back up on your feet, and get back on a budget. Because it happens. You know, $1,000 repair for some people is 2 weeks' pay, 3 weeks' pay.
Sure.
And so it doesn't take long to get in that situation. And we call it living on the verge of homelessness.
And you also help with people that if they don't have a family here, but their family's somewhere else, and then you actually talk to those families so you can put this person on a bus to go over there?
We call that diversion. We want to divert someone from our homeless programs. And yes, that is this event. I wish I could tell you how many bus tickets I bought this year. Or we had a woman, we gave her gas cards between us and Interfaith. We pitched in together, and we gave her $300 worth of gas cards to get all the way back to South Dakota.
Oh my gosh.
But she's home now, and she's with her family, and she's not out on the street with her little boy.
Oh,
we have
thank
another
God.
woman in town whose little boy has cancer, and she has to take him, I can't tell you, somewhere out west on a regular basis. And it messes up her budget on a regular basis. So we go in and help either with the transportation to the doctor or to keep her rent up to date, whatever the case may be.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a lot more than that hairy guy on the corner standing there with a sign that says, "I'm hungry."
Yeah.
No, the guy in my corner says, honesty is the best policy. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Gotta love him, right?
That's what
At
it says.
least he's being honest.
That's what it says.
You know, when I tend to, and it's not as warm now, but what I do for the people out on the streets is I keep water in my car. And if I pull up to someone who says I'm hungry or they're sweating profusely, carefully, I will open my window and say, I don't have much else, but at least let me give you a bottle of water.
Good idea.
And so, you know, they say to do that. There's also a thing I've read on Facebook where women keep old purses and they fill them with feminine hygiene products and shampoos and deodorants. And when they see a woman, they give her the purse. So there's lots of ways to help. You know, a $10 check to the Homeless Council is a box of diapers for somebody. It's, you know, those donations are strictly put away for these items that the grants won't take care of for us.
So we can help by having some fun and maybe even getting a gift for somebody because a
Jewelry.
a dollhouse
Absolutely.
is probably a popular gift.
And we have 2 beautiful dollhouses already in the office that will be going to auction that I can't think of a little girl that wouldn't enjoy playing with those.
Yeah, little girls like
And
dollhouses.
I don't know, there's women my age, we all love to be out in our gardens with the butterflies
Yeah,
and
right.
birdhouses. I actually got a birdhouse last year that one of the golden hammers from Habitat made.
Oh, really?
I had a nest this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I just love that about the event.
Well, fun idea, Karen. Okay, let's see. So go to this on Thursday, and it's at the
Marion Technical College,
which used to be
CTAE.
the big square building.
Correct.
And it's $10 for adults, right? $5 for students.
Yep. Anybody under 5 is free.
And you can, this is an auction, so the price is up to you.
That's right. It's a silent auction, and like I said, the winners of the different categories will go to live auction, and that's just to make it a little bit fun.
And everything is tax deductible.
Of course.
Are the houses lit? Do they have electricity in them?
Some of them do. I can tell you we had 2 fairy houses that were created actually by someone in our office that she made them night lights.
Oh, neat.
Precious.
Oh, neat.
And we had one that I saw this morning that is all feathers at the top. It's just really, really cute. So,
wow.
you know, people are very creative. And what I might like, you might not like. And the bigger the variety, the better.
Yeah, yeah. Fun idea and a great way to help out. And the bigger thing that we can do is to kind of be in touch with what you're doing, Karen, and help out in any way we can. So how do we find you? How do we get you?
You can get us either on our website. You could just type in Marion County Homeless Council and our website will pop right up for you. Or you can call our office and it's 732-1369.
Very good. Good to see you, Karen.
Thanks.
Tell your husband we said hi.
I absolutely
Everybody
will.
else who we know that you know. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump holds 3 final midterm